Hi everyone, I'm Simon from Homesite, and today we're going to unbox and set up into Home Assistant the brand new Aqara Roller Shade Driver. Let's go! So in this video, I'm going to take you all the way through from unboxing the brand new device, which has been sent to me by Aqara pre-launch. I'm going to be setting up in Home Assistant using Zigbee to MQTT, which I'm assuming you've already got set up. If you haven't, then there are other tutorials on my channel getting all that done for you. I also use a bit of a workaround for the status, for a status update within Node-RED. Now, if you are looking to set it up with something like the Aqara Hub M2, then I'm going to do another video for that as well. So I really hope you like this video. Give it a like down at the bottom. Comment any feedback you want to give me, anything you want more detail on. Subscribe to my channel to make sure you don't miss out on any more videos. And final thing is check me out on Instagram to see what I'm doing. So let's take a look. Here we go. You can see Roller Shade Driver E1, and obviously we've got the normal controls with Apple Siri, with Amazon Alexa, with Google Assistant and more. Of course, the one that I'm most interested in is Home Assistant. Does say here the Aqara Hub is required despite it having the Zigbee badge, and it's supporting Zigbee 3.0. So Aqara's easiest to use roller shade controller. It's obviously talking here about the driver here, the Hub M1 S, and plus a motion sensor means that you can open the shades when you get home and close it when you get dark. It's all talking about automation. Now we have on the end here long battery life, automation support, of course, stuff like that. So let's take a look. So this is the model RSD-M01, and as you can see here, we've got Zigbee 3.0 and the standard of which it conforms to. It's quite low power consumption of 5 watts, which is pretty cool. And it's obviously the battery version with a rated input of 5 volt, which is, I guess, charged from USB. So here we go. That's another little manual. Now then, here's the device itself. And we've got some goodies in there as well. Ooh, get that out. There we go. Ooh. Let's get all of these out first. And some 3M tape. Cool. Let's get rid of the box. So stick-on, which is interesting. The one I have looked at previously has been a screw-on plate, but I guess we've got that option as well. Let's get it out of the bag. So there we go, there's the device itself. Obviously a USB charging cable, as I guessed. It's fairly long, but you wouldn't want to have it plugged in all the time, of course, hence the battery. We've got some raw plugs and some screws, which I would never use. I would use some aftermarket ones, some normal ones by Raw or Fisher or something a bit stronger. And we've got 3 different rollers for 3 different types of blind. Now, I always like to have a look at the manual of these things. I'm just going to park the cable to one side. So it looks like there's a few languages going on in here. Now, one of the things I found on my other one that I've looked at is that it was really hard to set the limits. It took me quite a while to figure that out, so that would be a really interesting test on this. It looks pretty good, actually. It's talking about the different thicknesses of the cord, device installation guide. Here we go, but obviously I'm going to do that for you as well. Changing the plates, yes. Device binding installation, here we go. Before activating the accessory, make sure you have the Aqara Home Hub and the Aqara Zigbee 3 Hub installed. They seem pretty insistent that you need the Aqara Hub itself. Now, luckily, I have one ready in case I do need it, but I am going to try to install it using Home Assistant directly. Shh, don't tell Aqara. So cool, it tells you how to set the fully open position, fully closed position. Awesome. How to remap it, brilliant. Okay, I wonder if there's any charge in it, first of all. So I guess there's this back plate here. So we can mount that to the wall and then click that on. Now, one thing that I found with my other one as well is actually use this to tension it, which worked quite well. Oh, this looks like it has a single position. So you better get the installation right the first time. There's no sort of ratchet sort of click system that it will allow you to tension it once you've got it right. So placement is key, and the heavier the blind, I found, is obviously even more important that you get the placement right, because you've got to get the tension right on this little roller here. So I've just removed that cover, as you can see, and we can pop that off, I guess, just by pulling it. And you can see it's not a proper circle, which is obviously how it maintains friction when it spins around. And I guess my advice was just to find the best one of these that suits. That one looks like it's for a fairly big ball, different size ones. That one looks like it's a cord itself, but I think that one will probably suit the blind that I'm going to use this on anyway. So I'm just going to pop that one back on. Now, is there any life in it? It looks like there's a little button in the bottom, a reset button. I'm going to have to be patient. I'm going to have to plug it in with the cable and wait for it to charge up, I guess, before I'm allowed to actually use it. Oh, it's a USB-C connection. That's quite cool. If I'd known it was USB-C, I would have had one ready, but never mind. Here we go. Let's plug that in and see if we get some sort of light. Nope. Let's check the manual. When the USB cable is plugged in, the indicator will turn blue and blink for 3 times. When the USB cable is plugged in, the indicator will turn red when the battery is fully charged. If the battery is fully charged, the indicator will be turned off. Not seeing a little light there at all. Aha! Blue flashing light. Can you see that? Blue flashing light. Here we go. So what does that mean again? Literally read it 30 seconds ago. So blue flashing light. When the USB cable... I think that's pairing. I think that's pairing. I think I've pressed and held the reset button, and I think it's pairing. Okay, so now we know how to pair the device. We press and hold for 5 seconds. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump straight onto my Zigbee to MQTT and try and get it pairing. Now, first things first, make sure your Zigbee to MQTT is up to date, and therefore you'll have the latest list. When I first did this, I didn't, and it came up as unsupported. So this is 1.21.1-1. So in Zigbee to MQTT, I'm going to hit permit join, and the cool little trick on this device is if you press the button once, you will see that it will flash. Now that may not have looked quite red on the camera, but it was red. That's a little red LED. If it flashes blue once, it shows it's connected to a network. It flashes red once, like that, it shows that it's not connected to a network. So we can press and hold for 5 seconds. And what that's going to do is it's going to factory reset the device and put it automatically into pairing mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It flashes red and then goes instantly into rapidly flashing blue. And you can see the device came up here. It said unsupported for a second. Once it finishes its interview process, you can see it's now here. Obviously, it's not a very friendly name, but we can change that later. If I click into it, and if I just take the cover off so we've got a better look, we can see that I can open. And stop. And close. And stop. Now, at the minute, this will drive it, but I haven't actually set the limits on it just yet. So I'm going to do that now. So the way you set the limits is you put it into the position that you want it to go. You stop it, and then you press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the up. You have to do the up first. Then you set your curtain to the desired down position. You stop it and press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the down button. And you'll get a little confirmation LED. And then if you drive it up, it should stop at the up, and down should stop at the down. Which it does, which is cool. So now let's refresh this position. Actually, I'm going to go all the way open. Refresh this position. I'm just going to disable joining. And I'm going to press down. And refresh this again. And you can see that it does get the state of it, which is amazing, because on a previous one that I'd looked at, it wasn't able to get the state. It was that you were able to move it, but it wasn't able, if you were to operate it manually, it wasn't able to tell you whether it was open or closed, which is pretty cool. So the thing I've noticed is that the position doesn't seem to update automatically. Now, if I just move this out of the way so you can see better, if I refresh this, you can see it is in this closed position. And if I press open, it will drive the motor, stop it at the desired point, and I press refresh and it moves it. Now, I'm going to add this into just a test dashboard. And I'm just going to add a card, a button, and blind 1. I'm going to press show state as well, so it will show that it's open or closed, but you will get that with the, it'll be yellow or grey as well. So if I press save there and come out of the edit mode, I can click on it. And that's now closed it. I can click it again and it won't do anything because it still thinks it's open. So it's sending it the close command, but obviously it's already in close. Now, if I go back to my Zigbee to MQTT, or if I just open that in another tab, come into my blind, exposes, and refresh, you can see that that's gone back down to 0, and this will have changed to closed, and I can then click it, and it will then open it. If I hit back to refresh, you can see it's updated it. Obviously, we can't be doing that every time. So I've been having a bit of a play with Zigbee to MQTT, and at the minute, I can't figure out how to get it to update that more regularly. So I've solved the problem, a patch over the problem anyway, as I normally do with my favorite tool, which is Node-RED. So here you can see I've created some inject nodes and some MQTT out nodes. Now, if you're not familiar with Node-RED, then I recommend you check out my Node-RED tutorials. So here you can see that we can send it various things. So this is an MQTT out node, so it's sending a message to blind 1, okay, through the Zigbee to MQTT. And I can have a look at this one, and I'm sending it in the payload state open. And I'll put all of this in the description as well, of course. So I can click this inject node, and it's already open, so that doesn't do anything. But if I hit the close, it's obviously now sent to the close. Now, equally in here, it wouldn't have updated. However, this state here is a get rather than a set. So this is Zigbee to MQTT blind 1, which is obviously the friendly name of it, /get. If I press this button with the just injecting state with no content, it's going to update it for me. So if I click this, and then this inject node, so that's sending it a get, so it's asking for its status, you can see that it's updated it. Now the joy of this is I'm going to inject this once after 0.1 seconds, so when it first turns on Node-RED, it's going to send it a get, and then I'm going to have it repeat every second. I'm going to deploy that. Again, if this is not familiar to you, then I recommend you check out the Node-RED tutorials. And I will put all of this as an export so that you can import in the description below, or certainly a link to it. So if I now press the blind 1 through my dashboard, you can see it's gone to close, and that's because this state inject and the getting of the status has been done once every second. So it seems slightly unnecessary to have to do that, but it does work. And you can open and close for all your heart's content. So whilst the reality is that this would work, you'd probably have to charge your battery on the actual driver itself quite a lot, because you're going to be polling it once every second, which is going to rapidly diminish the battery in there as well. So I am going to turn this off in Node Red. I'm going to untick that, and I'm not going to inject every second. I'm going to quickly deploy that, and I'm going to scroll up to a flow that I've made earlier. Now you can also see that I've also introduced this button, which is also an Aqara device, but it doesn't have to be necessarily. It could be any remote that you want to use. Now I've created this flow here. Now I'll come back to this script part, but basically we've got a sunrise, sunset, which is acting as a trigger, which is coming into a switch, which is either going to look for on or off. So on, we're looking for sunset, and off is going to be sunrise based on my current location. So if it comes to on, we're going to go out of this one here, and we're going to close the kitchen blind. And we're also going to set the message payload to be this state equals 0, which is the same as this here, this get. And then we're going to send this payload to this MQTT out node. So we're going to get the state. So if the sun were to rise or set, it's going to open or close the blind, and it's going to then ask for the state of the curtain with a 5-second delay, or you'll have to change that 5-second delay to the period of time that it takes to open or close your blind. I've also got a remote here, so you can see I've got this remote button. So if I can click that button now, and it activated this. It checked for the blind state, so this is making it forces a toggle essentially. So if it's open, it will go to close it, and if it's closed already, it'll go to open. So I'll just do that again. So you can see that's gone to open. So it's then activated this call service node here, which is going to close the kitchen blind. You'll notice I changed the name of it as well from blind one, and it's going to update it. Now I've also got a script, and said I'd come back to that. Now if I look in my overview, you can see that this is going to update. But if I were to use that as a button, once again we're back to, because we're not doing that polling for the update, it's not going to change it. Now I've introduced this here. The first thing I'll show you is in scripts, I've created a blank script called kitchen blind. So if I look in that, if I edit that, you'll see there's just a delay. If you haven't done any script stuff, this is dead easy. You can enter a script that will do certain things in a certain order. Now, I don't want the script to actually do anything. I'm just using it as a trigger within Node Red. I hope that's clear. But I will show you here. So I'm now looking for, in this state node, this event state node, I'm watching scripts.kitchen blind, and if that happens at all, if anything happens to this, if this is turned on or off this script, it's going to again look for the blind state, whether it's open or closed, and it's going to do the opposite, and then it's going to update it. Because if by using a script, it means that if I come back to my overview, I can set up a button on my dashboard, or it could even be an icon on my layout. So if I edit my dashboard here, quickly look at this, you can see I've got a call service node. I've set that to be script.kitchen blind. I've got a call service, turn script on, but actually what I could do is put this as the kitchen blind. Kitchen blind. I could set that to the cover and show the state. But when I press the button, it's not going to do anything with that state, that the cover.kitchen blind. It's going to call this service and turn on this kitchen blind script. So if I press save now and come out of edit, now click that button, it's going to activate the script, and then it's going to call that Node Red sequence. So you can see that is updating. So of course I will put this flow into the description as well, or I'll put links to it in the description so you'll be able to use it. This here is a non-standard node. This is a Shed X node, so you may need to go up to manage palette and import that. So if you've got this far, I really hope you've got your driver set up now, or failing that, you've got enough information to go out and buy one. Now, I really hope you've liked this video, so give it a like down at the bottom. Provide any feedback you want in the comments, or any help that you want. Subscribe to my channel and check me out on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Simon from HomeSide.